This is a story about a reporter named Eddie Brock who is looking for a big break in his career. He lives in San Francisco and works for a small newspaper called the Daily Bugle, but the company is in debt and the new owner is planning to shut it down, which means that if he doesn't do something quickly, he'll be out of a job. Eddie finds his opportunity when he meets a man named Cletus Kasady, a serial killer who's being chased by the police. And in order to stop him from escaping, Eddie sneaks into his cell and gets a hold of his DNA. This gives him the perfect story to save his career. Unfortunately, though, things don't go according to plan because instead of just getting a sample of his DNA, he actually merges with him at a molecular level. As a result, Eddie is now half human, half alien symbiote, and he gains super strength, agility, durability, senses, intelligence, a healing factor, camouflage, razor-sharp claws and teeth, tendrils, tentacles, and the ability to fly. It is also worth mentioning that he can still retain his humanity and his morals even though he is technically an alien. So Eddie uses his powers to take down criminals while searching for a cure to turn back into a normal person. But along the way he meets another symbiote named N and she helps him control his newfound abilities. However, the two of them soon realize that they need each other as help in order to survive and they form a romantic relationship. Meanwhile, Cletus escapes prison and becomes the villain of the film. Eventually, he gets his own symbiote and becomes super powerful. This forces Eddie to accept that he's not only a hero, but also half alien. He has to face Cletus and stop him from destroying everything. But it's hard because Cletus is strong and he wants revenge against Eddie for betraying him. Will Eddie be able to defeat Cletus and save the day, or will he lose control and become the very thing he is trying to stop? Let's find out. First of all, I want to talk about the casting because it's really good. Tom Hardy is amazing as always, and he does an incredible job as both Venom and Eddie Brock. Woody Harrelson is great as Cletus Kasady, and Michelle Williams is fantastic as N. Everyone's acting is top-notch, and the chemistry between Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams is off the charts. Next, I want to talk about the action scenes because they are some of the best I've ever seen. The fight scenes are intense, brutal, and exciting, and the stunts are absolutely insane. One of my favorite scenes is when Venom fights off a group of mercenaries and he uses his symbiote powers to take them down one by one. Another great scene is when Eddie and Ann first learn how to control their symbiote powers and they use them to escape from a burning building. And of course, the final battle between Venom and Carnage is epic. It's full of non-stop action and it's really satisfying to watch. Now let's talk about the plot. It's actually really good for a superhero movie. The story moves at a fast pace and it keeps you engaged the whole time. There are some plot twists that you don't see coming, and there are also some funny moments that make you laugh out loud. I also like that the movie explores the relationship between Eddie and Venom. It's interesting to see how they interact with each other and how they grow as a team. And the romance between Eddie and Ann is also really sweet, and it adds a nice touch to the movie. The next thing I want to praise is the visual effects. They are stunning. The symbiote costumes look amazing and they really bring the characters to life. The CGI is top-notch, and it creates a believable world that you can immerse yourself in. The camera work is also fantastic, and it captures the action and the emotion of each scene perfectly. However, the movie isn't perfect and there are some flaws that I need to mention. First of all, the movie is 2 hours and 9 minutes long and it could have been shorter. There are some parts of the movie that drag on a bit and it could have been more intense if it was faster paced. Also, some of the dialogue in the movie is cheesy and it makes you cringe a bit. But this is a problem with most superhero movies and it's not unique to Venom. Now let's talk about the themes of the movie. Venom is a story about acceptance and embracing what makes you different. Eddie struggles with accepting his new powers and his alien side, but he eventually learns to embrace it and use it to save the day. It's also a story about friendship and teamwork because Eddie and Ann learn to work together and rely on each other in order to survive. And it is also a love story because Eddie and Ann's romance is one of the highlights of the movie. If you are a fan of superhero movies or if you are just looking for a fun movie to watch with friends, then I highly recommend Venom. It's a great movie with amazing action scenes, stunning visual effects, and a surprisingly good plot. It's not a masterpiece, but it's definitely a fun movie that's worth watching. Thank you for listening to my review, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe so you never miss any of my future reviews. And now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Venom? What's your favorite scene? And what's your favorite character? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if you want to see more reviews like this one, then click the bell icon so you never miss any of my future reviews. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.